Welcome to Community Power Radio. I am your host, Big Chino. This podcast was born to bring communities of color together to empower the youth of this generation, to learn the skills of self-reliance, entrepreneurship, business savvy by bringing community leaders, educators, and industry leaders in providing guidance, mentorship to our youth. A weekly podcast discussion session every Sunday night. The discussion will continue on our Community Power Radio Facebook group page after the show. Welcome to Community Power Radio. Hey, it's your host, Big Chino. I want to welcome you to a brand new episode this week. It is March the 10th, 2024. It's 7:13 p.m. Sorry, we started a little late, but hey, we're here. We're live. We're ready to go. I'm going to introduce a young lady in a few minutes here. Her name is Annette Hendrix. She's an endocannabinoid therapist. She's going to tell you everything you need to know about cannabis and its uses and what the medical benefits is for you. If you have questions, you want to talk, you want to come live and discuss this matter, come on live on this show. Have all the questions you want to ask this young lady. She's outstanding. She's well versed in this field, and she's currently working in the field. So I'm trying to give you the opportunity to come on, discuss it, ask questions. No questions is out of bounds here. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Annette Hendrix. Welcome to the show, Annette Hendrix.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the cannabis industry.
Well, I got into the cannabis industry a few years back when I first got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. For a number of years, I had been kind of trying to figure out what had been going on with my health. I'd been experiencing a number of symptoms, going through doctor after doctor, been on all sorts of pain medication, just kind of not getting the answers I was looking for. And so when we finally got to the diagnosis of Crohn's disease, it was looking like they were going to put me on some really heavy medicine. And I really started questioning, did my doctors have my best interest at heart? So at the time, my partner was going through cancer, and he was using RSO and cannabis to treat his cancer. And I was no stranger to cannabis. I used cannabis kind of recreationally in my youth. And then, just kind of even living in Colorado, there was still a lot of stigma around being a medical patient, especially in the kind of conservative world that I was in, working for, a military base. So it was a big leap of faith for me. I decided that I was just going to take my health into my hands and start using cannabis. And so I really got interested in the medicine and what it was doing for my body and the benefits that I was receiving. So I just started educating myself on that, jumped into the industry with both feet. And from there, I've just kind of gone through several different experiences. And I've had a lot of different opportunities to learn some and try my hands in some different fields in the cannabis industry. So where I am at now in the industry is I manage a retail dispensary in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice.
I am also finishing my board certification with the Cannabis Holistic Institute under Dr. Pepper Hernandez to be a board certified cannabis consultant. So that's where I'm at right now.
So what led you to the becoming the advocate for endocannabinoid therapy? How's that work? What is all that about? Entail?
So at its core, everyone has an endocannabinoid system within their bodies. There are natural cannabinoids that our bodies make itself. What we receive from cannabis are actually things called phytocannabinoids. So these phytocannabinoids actually mimic what our body naturally makes. And so utilizing this plant can really help us return our bodies to homeostasis, which is, the true goal of medicine, right?
Right.
Is to get our bodies balanced and working as they should. And so, the more we learn about our own bodies and our own endocannabinoid systems, we can more intuitively learn how to use cannabis just to be whole functioning people.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's the, hey, look, I'm learning as we're going through the process here because I sat there. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, yeah, I had doubt in it, but it was not like this. What are some of the misconceptions of cannabis, and what's the change that you have seen in the past 10 years?
Well, obviously, a lot of misconceptions about cannabis come from the stigma that was created around prohibition. What a lot of people don't understand is that cannabis is really an ancient medicine that's been used for thousands of years, and probably even longer. We can look back through time and see many different civilizations using cannabis for different ailments. In all sorts of ways. I mean, if you look back at ancient India, Egypt, China, you're going to see people utilizing cannabis throughout the different stages of their life, from birth to death. Um, and so what essentially happened was, as the rise of big pharma came, so came the downfall of cannabis. You can't have a you can't compete with something that can treat a multitude of different symptoms and ailments. So they had to knock it out the park somehow, right?
Right.
And
I mean, well, you gotta understand. You gotta understand that being in the big pharma's using synthetic things,
right,
unnatural
absolutely.
things, and so that's why I say, hey, let's find out what this stuff is all about. That's why we brought you on, so you can tell the people what they need to learn. I mean, a lot of people, got this misconception. There's a lot of misinformation on social media all over the world. I mean, you see it all over the place. It doesn't matter where you go on the social media. It's a lot of misinformation. Now, here's some of the things that I found out the cannabis really helps on. Some of them is chronic pain. Some of it is muscle spasms, anxiety, epilepsy. For me, for example, as a veteran, PTSD. I mean, that's one of those things that a lot of people don't understand what cannabis does. So I know that you got dispensaries all over the United States. All of a sudden, it's legal and all of that, but a lot of people don't understand the other side of it, where it doesn't have to be the THC part of it, and that's why I have that question for you. Besides you removing the THC out of it, what are the other options besides pain management? Seizures, what else does cannabis help with?
So cannabis, beyond seizures, beyond pain, cannabis can help a lot with a lot of gastrointestinal issues that people experience. It can help. Some people experience like paralysis within their digestive tract, and so it can really help stimulate getting those things going. Cannabis is also really great at helping people lower their blood pressure. It helps some people with type 2 diabetes control their diabetes, especially CBD is super beneficial for that. Other things, eczema, skincare. People don't understand how fantastic cannabis can be for your skin, and how good it can be just to eat the plant itself, using the leaves for juicing and getting some of those acidic cannabinoids that are not psychoactive are super beneficial to you. There's also flavonoids and terpenes and other nutrients that are found within the plant itself that can be super beneficial for your body.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I never knew that you can eat it like that. I mean, I heard of, hey, it's got edibles and that kind of mentality. Now, that was my education on it. You know what I'm saying? Besides making brownies when I was younger.
Right. Well, because when most people think of cannabis, the first thing that comes to their mind is THC, because that's what it's really known for, is that psychoactive component to it. But there are so many other components to this plant that go beyond that. There are parts that are not psychoactive at all, but still will give you great anti-inflammation benefits, great pain relief. Be really anti-inflammatory. So we have to, study the whole plant.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm just, it's not in my list here, but I want to ask this question. For those kids out there that got ADHD, or, or they have issues like, like being autistic and things like that, would this stuff work?
Absolutely, and it does. And there are many cases of it, and there are many families that are sharing their stories with their children and utilizing cannabis. I know with my own children, it is something that we have utilized, especially with my now 13-year-old and their ADHD. Being able to use CBD and hemp products with them has been phenomenal. We were dealing with not being able to have full attention in the classroom, being really disruptive and just kind of wiggle worming everywhere. And when we started introducing CBD into their world, it really changed them. It really helped them focus in. It really helped them calm their bodies. And we started seeing progress within their school. So it can be really beneficial for those on the spectrum and those with, who are neurodivergent.
Definitely. I mean, so let me correct that. It's not the THC part that you're giving to kids. It's the CBD part. So get it correct.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You can give THC to kids. There are kids that are utilizing THC. I've utilized Farm Bill CBD with my children. Okay. There is a trace amount of THC in there. There are some kids that use full on THC. So yes, absolutely. It is a misconception that we need to shed that.
Okay, there we go. I just got corrected live.
Yeah. And there are some things, there are some studies out there where, people are concerned about how THC is going to affect a developing mind. There are some things that you can do to kind of be proactive if you have those concerns. And so a lot of products that are geared towards pediatric use have something called L-theanine in it, and that essentially reduces the bind of the THC to the receptors in the brain, and so that helps. That essentially is neuroprotectant for pediatric use.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, I'm learning as we go in here, people. So, hey, if you want to come on, give us a call, 702-879-5277, or hey, request a live link and come on and ask questions if you want to ask questions to Miss Annette Hendrix here. She can give you a lot of information. So, Annette, so if someone wants to reach out to you directly, how are they going to reach out to you to get more information regarding the cannabis uses?
If you're local to Tulsa, Oklahoma, you can find me at Euphora in Tulsa. If you want to reach out to me online, I am Mommy Likes Pot on all social media. I am on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So that's just at Mommy Likes Pot if you want to get in touch.
Oh, definitely. There you go, people. And after the show, I will put this all over social media so you can reach out to her. Definitely, she can give a lot of information. She's well versed than I am because I'm not a user. So that's just me. That's just me personally. I'm just going with what I grew up with, and I didn't do certain things. So, but hey, this information right here is going to help a lot of people in the world. A lot of people who don't know. A lot of people that have been given false information. So that's one of the things why we bring her on. And then in future episodes, we're going to bring more information about this cannabis industry, things that we need to get more information for, because a lot of it is being suppressed online right now. I mean, it took me a minute. I mean, I dug real deep, and it took me about 4 hours just to find this here. And people were like, well, you can't get this information, or hey, we can't give you that information. Like, I reached out to a local doctor here who's supposed to be working holistically. She would not give me any of the information. So one of the things that I love about this here, arthritis. I was not aware that, THC or, cannabis can help with arthritis. Like me, I have arthritis. So that's pretty good to know.
And what people don't know is that you don't have to smoke cannabis to receive the benefits of it. You don't just have to eat cannabis to receive the benefits of it. Topicals are a phenomenal way to medicate. Suppositories are a phenomenal way to medicate. Being able to use tinctures are a great way to medicate as well. Um, there are shampoos, there are soaps that
Oh,
you can utilize. There are cooking spices, there are hot sauces. You can make a lot of medicine at home yourself as well. So, um,
a lot of
and
topical stuff that you could use.
yeah, yeah, a lot of topical stuff. You can make a really easy topical at home, just making some infused coconut oil,
Oh,
and using some basic ingredients just to blend it to your preference. You know.
outstanding, outstanding. So here's some of the examples, like cancer. So this is what I read. Okay, so people who are using cannabis and they're dealing with cancer, they can use it to help them, aid them to eat after going through chemotherapy,
Hmm. Yeah.
going through the pain, or it actually helps to suppress the cancer cells, from what it
It,
says here.
Yeah, actually, that's very true, and that's something that a lot of people are afraid to talk about, and it's something that over the years my spouse and I have had a lot of conversations with people since he survived cancer using plant-based medicine.
Wow.
Um, it was a huge part of our life for a long period of time. It was not an easy road. It was not a fun road. It was not a cheap road to go down utilizing cannabis only and plant-based medicines as the treatment that we decided to go with. It was um, it was not glamorous. It was very ugly. And I mean, you should definitely check out his story. He's on several. He's had a couple different podcasts where he's explained his cancer journey. So if you're interested in that, I'll send you that information too. But a lot of people use cannabis to alleviate the symptoms that they're going through when they're receiving chemotherapy, or just to help them ease the pains that they're going through with cancer itself. When people truly decide to commit to using cannabis only as a medicine, a lot of times it can be an overwhelming process for them, and people are afraid of feeling high. So a lot of people don't choose not to utilize that route.
Yes.
Um, but it is a valid one, and one that we should examine more of.
So let me ask you a question. So on top of doing the cannabis thing and being a therapist regarding that, would your diet help too?
Oh,
Because
absolutely,
I
yeah.
know you're a vegan.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, diet is a huge part of any wellness, right? And it
Right.
doesn't have to necessarily be a vegan diet. A vegan diet is what I've chosen for my life. It's what makes sense for me, and it's what has helped me. I do advocate for a more plant-based lifestyle, just because I do feel like it's better for our bodies, our hearts, our minds, our planet, and our communities.
Yes.
But everybody has to make that journey for themselves, and people truly have to want to make that change. So
It's a
um,
lifestyle. It's not a change.
it is a complete lifestyle.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle change for people. You know what I mean? And those are the hardest ones to make. But if you want to see real change, sometimes you have to do radical things.
Yes.
So I will say that going plant based was huge for us, and it was a big game changer in his cancer uh, journey.
Journey.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just going through the process. I mean, I watched some documentaries and I watched some things. I made that change myself. I'm plant based, and I find myself being a little bit better. I took a lot of little chronic things that I had going on. They disappeared.
Mhm.
Like I have hypertension, and I haven't been able to. I haven't been needing to take that pill every day. You
Right.
know, because I changed my lifestyle. I don't eat no fried foods, no
Mhm.
meats, no none of that stuff, and it's helping with my inflammation and things like that. So it's whoever is whatever you choose in the world to feel healthy. So I mean, I find it interesting that cannabis. I mean, we don't see too much of the stuff going out here because it's kind of suppressed. Anything that has to do with holistic or healthy stuff is kind of being suppressed by big pharma. If you pay attention to social media, if you pay attention to what's going on in the media, they're constantly pushing a hamburger to you. They're constantly pushing dairy to you. They're constantly pushing all these things all over social media. But when it comes to eating healthy, why is it so expensive?
Well, I think that's all kind of how you look at it too. Like, I would say that at one point in time, I did view like healthier options as more expensive, but what I'm paying for at the grocery line, I'm not paying for in medical bills anymore. So
That's
I would
correct.
say that's a fair trade.
So it's a fair trade when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather pay more up front for my health now than for it later on when I'm in the hospital. That's just me, though. I really don't see it as more expensive. Like, I mean, I have a family with 2 small children, and I would say that our grocery bill is probably about the same as prior to going vegan. We just eat differently,
That's right.
And truly, like, you can do it. You can do it. Like, you can find things to fit in your budget. The dollar store has plenty of vegan options. The Dollar General has plenty of vegan options that we will pick up. Really being strategic with your fresh fruits and veggies and that kind of thing. That's essential. I mean, that's savvy shopping all the way around, whether you're vegan or not. You need to get those things. You know what I mean? And then it's really just like, you don't have to give up the things that you love. You just have to change how you're making the things that you love. I loved tacos, and I loved burgers, and I loved pizza, and I loved all those different things. But everything that I eat now is just plant-based, and I looked for the very best tasting plant-based whatever it was I wanted, and then now that's what I eat. So, I found it was a process, it was a journey. And now I'm here and I'm enjoying it. So,
but you see the fruits of your labor now.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I look back at, I put in way less effort to be unhealthy, and I paid a heavy price for it with my health and my life, and squandered opportunities. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I feel like now is my health at its peak optimal? I'm a little bit of a junk food vegan right now, I will admit.
Don't trust me. There's a lot of good stuff out there that's vegan.
There is, and it's possible. Yeah, it's possible for you to be a little junk foodie sometimes, and so I'm definitely feeling that. I have not been as active as I have been in my past, and so my body is reflecting that, and so that is a reminder that you have to be consistent. It doesn't matter, if you're a vegan or not. You have to be consistent with being active, paying attention to how much sugar and, kind of salty foods and that kind of thing that you're eating, because it will impact your health.
That's right. I mean, I sit back and I say, knock on wood, I've been vegan for 6 months straight now, and I've learned a lot of things about the American Western diet. It's like, what the world are we eating? What are we doing to ourselves? But this is how you grew up. This is what you were trained to eat.
I mean, I never imagined that I would be vegan. I used to make jokes about vegans. So, like, I get why people feel the way they do about things. It's because we're so emotionally attached to our foods. You know what I mean? And I mean, I loved milk. I loved a rare steak. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't because it didn't taste good that I stopped eating it. It's just that I learned where my food source was coming from and who it was impacting. And to me, that just wasn't an acceptable choice to continue making.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that was one of those things where I had to retrain myself mentally, because I grew up in I'm Hispanic, so I grew up in a household that we ate every kind of meat you can think of.
Yeah.
And it was hard in the first few weeks to kind of adjust not eating like that. But you know what? I learned something so valuable, that if it has a face, I'm cool. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to touch it, because I look at it as, it's just like you have your cat at home, you have your dog at home. You look at a cow and you go, man, that animal has
Yeah.
feelings. It has,
Right.
as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I look at it now. That's how I pay
Yeah.
attention to it right now. But the biggest impact that I have is that I notice is that we're hurting ourselves. We're hurting our world
Yeah.
by the things that we're eating or growing or manufacturing.
Mm.
That's the other part that threw me for a loop when I got into this, eating the correct way and eating the right way. But like I
But I
said,
mean,
it's a
like
lifestyle.
it's the same. They're the same factors that are keeping that kind of information away from the public. It's the same thing that's continuously stigmatizing cannabis. It's people. It's this.
Yes. Don't get me. I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's money.
It's about money, and then the thing that I find out about cannabis is that it's the other side of cannabis, is the other plant, the cousin of cannabis. Okay, was used for many years to build buildings, bricks, walls, t-shirts,
hemp,
clothes, pants.
I mean, yeah. Oh gosh, and that's something that we need to talk about: industrial hemp versus cannabis.
Yeah, there it is. So that's what I was trying to think of.
Industrial hemp is fantastic. It is good for so many different things. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I don't know where I just put it. It is a fantastic agricultural phenom. That's what I'll call it. It can do so many things for us. It can really, but one of the really fantastic things about hemp and cannabis that also can be super detrimental is that it is a bioaccumulator. So essentially, you can plant hemp and it can clean out your soil. It will remove, heavy metals and all sorts of toxic things from your soil, but essentially, then it's in your plant. And so this is really important when you start talking about industrial hemp being used for medicine in legal farm bill CBD products. So products with 3% or less THC. And this is something that, recently I've been learning more about myself. I've always been a proponent for being able to use cannabis or hemp products in whatever way that you can, because it has been illegal for so long, and because for some people that's all they have access to are those hemp products. But because of the way that hemp is cultivated, there are some potentials for that not being truly the best medicinal product for somebody to ingest or smoke. And so I think it's really important that people are aware of that they really start scrutinizing their sources, where they're getting these hemp and CBD products, making sure that they're third-party tested for contaminants, heavy metals, and just any kind of toxins in them, making sure that they're having a good, clean product, because that is such a concern.
Oh wow! I mean, it's just I sit back and I wonder why. I know hemp was used many years ago to do a lot of things, and you see the resurgence right now. People are bringing t-shirts, clothing, whatever you want to think of from hemp.
I have a vape cart made from hemp.
Yeah,
the plastic on it is made from hemp.
And see, but it's recyclable, and that's what I don't understand. They want to use all these chemicals, want to use all these things. If you have already a plant, there's a 90-day crop that you can recycle this every 90 days, build bricks off of it, walls, name it. I mean, from insulation to ceiling to tile to name it. Why is the industry not doing it? I don't know. I always ask that question. If it's easier to make and you're saving our environment, why they're not using it?
That's a really great question that I don't know I have the answer to, truly. Like, I wonder that myself. I know that a lot of it is just kind of, fighting red tape around being able to do that to the extent that we want to right now. But I think there are people who are making strides towards eventually getting there.
Okay. So here's a thing that I was trying to see. So we covered the different chronic conditions. Now, beyond all of that, what other products can you make from cannabis? You said, shampoos, soaps, and what else?
Yeah. Beyond just being able to like do what most people think with cannabis, beyond smoking, dabbing, and doing your traditional gummies or brownies, that kind of thing. People are really revolutionizing like different types of cannabis products. So you can absolutely make seed or shampoos and conditioners out of them, because again, you're using different cannabinoids and terpenes to target different receptors throughout your body for different results, right?
Right.
There are people who are, trying to be really innovative with different products. I've seen everything from like little breast strips that you can stick under your tongue that dissolve in your mouth, mints. I've seen inhalers, like actual, it looks like an inhaler, where you're actually taking in cannabinoids that way. Water soluble powders are really popular as well. And what else is there? Like, I mean, I've seen everything from, different kinds of drinks and coffees and teas and soup mixes,
Oh, wow.
hot sauces, buffalo sauces, all those kinds of things. So
And
you,
so
you
it's
can
infused with the cannabis.
yeah, so there's a lot of products out there infused with cannabis. However, not every infused product is made equally. So the types of concentrates that they use to infuse these products are also really important to pay attention to. Distillate is a really popular product or cannabis concentrate that is used to infuse different products. Essentially, distillate is a really high THC product. It removes a lot of your terpenes, your other cannabinoids, and essentially it's meant to be flavorless and odorless.
Oh, cool.
It was really meant to be able to mask the hashy taste of cannabis when you're eating it, and also when you're vaping it, to make it more discreet. But essentially, in the cannabis space now, we have a saturated market full of distillate products, and those are not truly the best medicinal product for everyone. And so it's really important just to pay attention to what your products are being infused with. Really, truly using as much whole plant medicine, using things that are infused with rosin or live resin or even cured resin is a little bit more preferred than just plain distillate products. But again, it's just all depends on what's available in your neighborhood.
So, and so it doesn't matter what part of the country, you just got to pay attention to certain things that you're purchasing, because some people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, basically.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it's not that people who use distillate products are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's just that it is a very popular way to make a very affordable, basic cannabis product. It's just not the most medicinal product out there for most people who are actually trying to utilize cannabis as medicine.
Now, the industry is regulated, and there's medical background checks. I mean, to make sure that what they're putting out there is safe and effective for certain people. To make sure that, I mean, I don't think Big Pharma's involved, but I think there's a check in the system.
Yeah, so there's definitely in regulated areas where you have medical or recreational cannabis, there are governing entities in place, and a lot of them have rules on making sure that you have third-party testing for contaminants, heavy metals, that kind of things, as well as for potency and terpene content. Those are pretty typical in any legal market. If you have companies that are doing in-house and third-party testing, that's even better, because it's really showing you that they want to make sure that they are putting out a quality product that is going to be safe for consumers. So really making sure that you're paying attention to people who are, following those processes correctly and being compliant with their state's governing agency.
Oh, outstanding. So let's get to the point here. So I'm trying to get you to get people to reach you. So just make sure, people, if you want to get a hold of her, she's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, she's all over social media. Say the name again.
It's Mommy Likes Pot. I'm at Mommy Likes Pot on TikTok, on Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay, and so if you want to reach out to her, hey, come back in a little while. I will have all this information on our social media pages. You can reach to her, talk to her. We try to get her come out and teach you something, try to explain it to you. Or if you have any questions on this matter, give us a call here at Community Power Radio 702-879-5277 if you have any questions. I know we've been off the air for a while, but we're back every week and we're going to try to do a podcast and give you updates and everything like that. And this is not the last time she's going to be on the show. She's going to be coming back regularly. So anything that's new, innovative in the industry, we'll bring her back. Or she wants to promote anything on her side of the world, we'll bring her back on here at Community Power Radio. Hey, this is your host, Big Chino. I want to welcome you and thank you for showing up today at Community Power Radio. So stay tuned, and I will have all that information online for you in a little while here on all our social media channels. Thank you for joining us today at Community Power Radio. And this is the end of the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Stand by.